Sense Amanda! How many Mumsalaras of Pambili? How many Goshima of Pambili? Allah Alfred in Zohalala! Allah Alfred in Zohalala! Allah Alfred in Zohalala! Allah Allah Tambu Halala! Allah Allah Tambu Halala! Allah Krisani Halala! Allah Krisani Halala! Allah Nelson Mandela Bay Halala! Allah Nelson Mandela Bay Halala! Allah Amatore Halala! Allah Amatore Halala! Allah Tokabi Halala! And Nifi Tokabi Allah Tokabi Halala! Kati Tokabi Aiko Allah Sarah Batman Halala! Allah Sarah Batman Halala! And Nifi Allah BCM Halala! Allah BCM Halala! And Nifi. Okay, thank you so much. Comrade President, Secretary General, we pass our greetings. Commissioner Nontando, the convener of the province, the provincial chair and the provincial secretary, I hereby present credentials of the attendance to this meeting, the Eastern Cape Provincial Ground Forces Forum. Alfred Nzo expected, 212 present. O.R. Tambo expected, 294 present. BCM expected 100, 89 present. Amatole expected 242, present 190. Sarah Bartman expected 143, 98 present. Joe Kabi expected 90. I'm told, Comrade President and Secretary General, some of them experienced some breakdowns along the way. 40 is confirmed present from Joe. Nelson Mandela Bay expected 120, 60 present. Krizani expected 220, 180 present. PTF expected 122, 98 present. Student command from BCM region expected 20 present. The total number of delegates expected at this Provincial Ground Forces Forum is 1,561 and 1,398 present. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Commissar Sam Matthias. Credentials ke comrades zale nhlanganiso sikuyo asizuzixoxa kodwa ke siza reflector after the meeting. Andizutya xesha singena ku item number 5, the introduction of leadership. Alezansi sinyuke nayo mongameli apha khona i-PTF members andizawucela ziphakame zonke zike ziwavishe zonke i-PTF members ezikhona ngaphakathi ngicela niphakame comrade nasi isibokhelo the collective leadership yale nqwelo. That is the Provincial Election Task Force. Idlule ngokukhawuleza ikhona unobhala wephondo Commissar Simthembile Matikizela. We do have our commissars that are deployed by the Central Command Team is CTF nayo yaphinde abadeploy apha. Sawuqala si-acknowledge i-presence yakho Commissar Natasha Nhlangwini. Ukhona uCommissar Mbali Dlamini. Amatole convene. Obekhona uCommissar Paul Nita odeployed ngapha eSarah Badman. Where is Commissar Paul Nita? Sibe naye uCommissar Sam Matthias ukhona naye ngaphakathi. Kokugqibela xa nihlala phansi nisole ndinikela kuye uCommissar Mama Noluchungu nontando uconvener we-Eastern Cape. Masamkela umama we-Eastern Cape, comrades.
First and foremost, we take this opportunity to greet and welcome you, President and Commander-in-Chief, to ephondweni laseMpuma Koloni. We also welcome the officials deployed in the Eastern Cape our Secretary General, Commissar Marshal Zamini. We also welcome the Provincial Election Task Force, the Regional Election Task Forces, the Sub-Regional Election Task Forces, and the Branch Election Task Forces that are here today. President, gathered here today are the EFF ground forces from the length and breadth of the Eastern Cape Province. We can assure you that in front of you, President, is the battalion that will take the Eastern Cape to the promised land of milk and honey, to ensure that all the 13,458 nurses, the 1,866 doctors, and in all 772 primary health facilities and 90 hospitals have the necessary tools to provide decent health services in Alfred Nzo, in Amatol, in Krisani, Sarah Barkman, OR Tambo, and Joe Gabi regions. President, in the Eastern Cape, there are serious administration, operation, and political challenges facing this province. One of the main challenges facing this province is the capacity to deliver services. Many, if not all, services are outsourced to companies, and this brings with it several problems, including the capacity to either monitor or enforce these contracts. This led to many of these companies being paid inflated amounts and some disappearing before completing their work. We present to you this synopsis report as an account of work of the economic freedom fighters in the Eastern Cape since the conversion of all structures of the organization into the election task forces. As guided by the 2024 Road to Victory Manual, the hashtag #MyHlomeFace, the Eastern Cape has established the Provincial Election Task Force to coordinate elections work at the provincial level. The PTF is convened by myself, Commissar Ndandononi Chungu, and coordinated by Commissar Sam Matias. It is composed of 8 regional conveners and coordinators, 41 sub-regional conveners and coordinators, conveners and coordinator of Youth and Student Mobilization Committee, convener and coordinator of Women Mobilization Committee, convener and coordinator of Mobilization and Organizing Committee, convener and coordinator of Women Mobilization Committee, convener and coordinator of People Living with Disabilities, convener and coordinator of Cost Center and Fundraising Committee. The total composition of the PTF is 112 members. The PTF has met 9 times since its establishment. The Regional Election Task Force. The Eastern Cape has 6 district municipalities and 31 local municipalities and 2 metropolitan municipalities subdivided into 10 clusters. We can report that we have established RETFs in all the 8 regions of the province. The Eastern Cape has 710 IEC wards and 4,868 voting districts. As envisaged by the Road to Victory Manual, the province has functional RETFs. All the 8 RETFs are convened and coordinated by the following people. Buffalo City is convened by Commissar Matiase and coordinated by Mziande Flegiso. Alfred Nzo is convened by Nokuthula Mlokoti, coordinated by Mawande Magaza. Amatole region, convened by Mbali Dlamini, coordinated by Onga Mbeko. Sarah Barkman, convened by Commissar Polnita Marais and convened by Lita Zibula. Chris Zani region, convened by Commissars Tembile Madibizela and convened by Bulela Diane. Joe Gabi, convened by Ziko Nanjoli, coordinated by Sitlabucha Muruwadhab. O.R. Tambo, convened by Zlindi Levena and coordinated by Mvubisi Fukula. In line with the road victory manual Maihlome phase, the Eastern Cape has established sub-regional election task forces in all 41 sub-regions or zones. Our SRETFs have a total composition of 1,502 members, comprised of sub-regional conveners and coordinators and BETF conveners and coordinators. The Eastern Cape has 710 IEC wards, and we can safely report, President, that we have 15 BETF members in all 710 wards of the province. The province has 4,868 voting stations. In line with the Road to Victory manual, which serves as our guiding compass, which states that each ward must have a minimum of 20 dependable members. The province is expected to submit 97,360 VDTF members. As of the 7th of December, the province has submitted 15,681 VDTFs. The province is hard at work ensuring that all the 4,868 voting stations have a dependable battalion of 20 ground forces per voting station. President, this calls on all of us to be genuine in executing this task. Again, in line with the 2024 Road to Victory manual, the province has held consultative meetings in this reporting period. The consultative meeting held in the province as follows. Ex-mine workers on the 17th September 2023 in Lusukisuki, Musa Hill. Ex-mine workers on the 17th of September 2023 at Mount Alif in Umzumfugu. Unemployed youth on the 17th October 2023, Rebecca. Unemployed youth on the 18th of October, East London. Social grant recipients on the 20th of October in Umtanzani. The PTF also wrote letters to various community-based organizations, civil society, and organized labor to invite them to make submissions to the manifesto. In conclusion, President, we have gained new members from political parties like the UDM, ANC, and other civic organizations who resonate with our founding manifesto. These comrades are from various parts of the Eastern Cape, and they are currently with us today, some of them as BET conveners and coordinators. We must be moved by the teachings of one of the fathers of the revolution, Fidel Castro, that a revolution is not a bed of roses. A revolution is a struggle between the future and the past. Castro further teaches us that no thieves, no traitors, no interventionalities. This time, the revolution is for real. Amanda! Amanda! Thank you, Chair.
Amanda! Siyabulela kakhulu convener we-PTF apha ephondweni umama Sikhokhelane. Sizawudlula kumgca ongezantsi. Yawube ndiyonile noko comrades ukubana andim-acknowledge ukomisa sinawo Thabo khona usithathu. Simbonile na ukommissar Vuyani Pambo, the head of presidency and the head of food bank. Siyitya ngenxa yakhe na ukhona Maqabane. Phakathi kwethu we're blessed by the national chairperson, ukommissar Advocate Dali Mpofu, ukhona naye phakathi kwethu. Ngiyaqonda khangene imbono ukuthi ngoku umntana omgquba xa ekhona phakathi kwethu masimamkele. Asizobabade ke ngoba simenywe umongameli enhlanganisweni yakhe. Sinenhlanhla enkulu apha ephondweni ngoba siyanjelwe umongameli nonobhala jikelele. Hayi noko nobhala jikelele zawuboleka amazwi kamongameli last week esithi noko siyazama. Hayi noko umongameli utshile wathi Eastern Cape, I think there is a problem there. I know the society, like I was coming this out. Ngoku saphakama sonke sinikele kunobhala jikelele. Sihlabele ingoma sithi khawuthethe nobhala. Awunobhala. Haye sachoka manje, sachoka manje. Thank you very much, Sihlalo. It goes, Julius ETF, Julius, our former chairperson, Ungwalapa. We go to the Mohammed, but I know Slapa. Sikora, Sinacho, the membership, we miss a corner. What thought we did, and that's all kind of work. It goes to Slalo fighters. It goes to Marapa. owethu umsebenzi namhlanje ukuthi simamele. Owethu umsebenzi munye namhlanje simamele. So kungabikho ungabamba apha ngoba xa uhamba uzohamba uyongena phawulwane uzahamba namanzi. Uhlala apha phansi uzolo mongameli khona simamele ngoba apho zathethwa namhlanje ikona ukuqinisekisa indlela esizawusebenza ngayo apha ephondweni. So ufuna ukuthi sisuke into ngenyawo as I call the militant, the radical, the fearless, the hard-working ground force, the number one ground force of the revolution, the president and the commander-in-chief to this day, corporate president. Mandla, Mandla, viva EFF, viva, Tata EFF, Tata, Tata EFF, Tata, Nirvasavana, Nirvasavana, Nirvasavana. Spambeni, 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 Watitatina, 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 Mandla, Mandla, Wembi Ramaposa. Ramaphosa, Ramaphosa, Asuso Ramaphosa, Asuso Ramaphosa, Yatagato Ramaphosa, Yatagato Ramaphosa, Yatagato Ramaphosa. Thank you very much. Sibonge our convener and coordinator, and thank the provincial secretary with his elected collective, all regions, all sub-regions, central command team members who are deployed here, the former national chairperson, and all our ground forces who are here in the province of the Eastern Cape. We are very happy to see the fruits of the hard work which the commissars, together with the leadership, have put in place in this province. And this was demonstrated in preparations of the 10th anniversary and in preparations of our first registration, voter registration. So comrades, this was the most historic year for the EFF, because the EFF this year turned 10 years and celebrated in a fashionista way and put one of the best rallies ever experienced in South Africa. And no one will dare to repeat what we did at the FNB. I even doubt if the EFF can do it again, because that was something else so spectacular, to a point that all clowns are trying to imitate what happened at FNB, and they failed not at FNB, at playgrounds. Can you imagine if they were to try FNB? It was because of the discipline of members of the EFF. It was because of the sacrifice of members of the EFF. It was you who said, we are going to mark 10 years of the existence of the EFF in a more powerful way, so that we warn all of these people that 2024 will be a Mickey Mouse. The EFF will make sure that 2024 becomes a turning point in the politics of South Africa. So, in the Eastern Cape, SG, we didn't have to expel any councillor or any MPL or anything of that sort, because they were able to comply with the directive of our organization. That's why today the provincial election coordinator gives an account and says expected number in Nelson Mandela is this and half of it is here. I call him, I say, what happened? He says to me, no, they are on their way, and all of the regions are on their way, and they will all be here represented 100%. And I was very happy with that type of Then the SG says, Nelson Mandela, there's no way it can be well represented, because when I was there, I've been everywhere, but I was last week in Nelson Mandela. They are the most organized region of the EFF that he has not. So it means the work is now getting to reach other areas of the Eastern Cape, which never had the existence of the EFF. Even with the registration, we know in which areas did we have party agents, which areas did we have tables, which areas we were struggling to have party agents and tables. We know those areas, and the leadership has since deployed the most senior leaders of the EFF to attend to those areas where we did not have presence, because there should not be any corner of the Eastern Cape without the presence of the EFF. So we want to make sure that by the time we go to the elections, the whole Eastern Cape is covered. Why? The ANC, in all the research conducted in South Africa, the survival of the ANC depends on the Eastern Cape. Everywhere else, the ANC is failing dismally, except in the Eastern Cape. That's why in the Eastern Cape, a double effort must be put in place, so that the ANC fails in the Eastern Cape, and when it fails in the Eastern Cape, it fails the whole of South Africa and liberates South Africa. All signs are there that ANC will not govern South Africa. Ipsos, an institution that is independent, that conducts research, has confirmed that the ANC, if elections were to be held today, will not get more than 40% in South Africa. But it will survive in the Eastern Cape. So it's science. Because as Marxist and as Leninist, you ought to use science to analyze every situation confronting you. So science says there is too much work that still needs to be done to tilt the balance of forces in the Eastern Cape. And because unlike the rest, we the believers of science cannot come and pretend that no, science says something else. When science says the ANC is winning in Eastern Cape, It doesn't mean we must give up. It simply means these are the areas where you are likely to be challenged. You need to reinforce and strengthen those areas if you want to undermine the strength of the ANC. So the ANC must be taken toe for toe. In every village, in every suburb, in every township, in the factory, in the schools, in the universities, we must be there to attack the ANC. Because, comrades, the Eastern Cape has been the worst province in terms of service delivery. You cannot allow a situation to continue. Of 30 years of suffering and pain for the people of Eastern Cape, the ANC, when it wants a playground where it can steal without being challenged, it comes to Eastern Cape. When they bury Nelson Mandela, they use Nelson Mandela's funeral to steal more money. Here in Eastern Cape, it's where degrees are being stolen. That a premier wakes up and says he's got masters. Masters in what? Stupid. You have no masters, you stole a master's. And it shows in the report that was presented that a lot of senior politicians are coming to Eastern Cape if they want to procure masters. They buy a degree like they are buying a loaf of bread on a shelf at Fort Hare, one of the best institutions that must be defended because of its history. The ANC leaders go there to destroy that university. Comrades, we must be very jealous about buying of degrees. Because if a degree can be procured, all of these medical doctors from South Africa, they will no longer be recognized all over the world. All of these advocates, they will no longer be recognized. We are the best country that produces the best mining engineers in the world. And if our standard of education is undermined, all of those mining engineers will not be recognized in the world, because as they appear and claim to be mining engineers, people are doubting them if those qualifications are real, because of Oscar Mabuyan of the Eastern Cape, who is involved in one scandal after another. And with all his many scandals and procurement of qualifications, the ANC still attempted to make him a deputy president. Because in the ANC you get promoted by how much and how corrupt you are. That's how you get a promotion. The province of Krisani, the province of Owar Tambo, the province of Winnie Mandela and Nelson Mandela has been turned into a joke and a playing field for the corrupt. Gwedemantashe stole the cameras from Busasa Mani and went to install them there in Krisani at his home state. And that came out of the Zondo Commission. Till to date, nothing has happened to Gwedemantashe. He's promoted to be a minister of gold and diamond. How do you trust a person who steals cameras with gold and diamond? You say, this one who steals cameras must look after gold and diamond. stupid can we be as a nation that a thief is presented before us and we trust that thief to look after the most precious minerals of our country? His sister or cousin or something, I remember, was also involved here in the Eastern Cape in corrupt activities, where his wife and son are involved in that toilet scandal of Eastern Cape. Amateur. Nothing has happened. Where millions and millions were stolen. What is Owar Tambo saying in a province where there are no houses? Where Owar comes from himself, where he was born, the situation is so terrible. Eastern Cape that doesn't have proper roads. You know, you can have graveled roads and not have a tar roads, but they're still nice, you can navigate them. Not here. Here when it rains, everything comes to a standstill. No ambulance can go into a village. But a person buys scooters and says these scooters are going to be ambulances. And then you try them in the Eastern Cape, maybe in the Western Cape, because there are roads there and there. Scooters in the Eastern Cape where a truck can move. You say no scooters. And certain kids who came to ride as ambulance, scooter ambulance, was touted as a potential president because they compete amongst the corrupt. Why did they bring the scooters in the Eastern Cape, a province where there are no roads? They know it's easy to steal in Eastern Cape and not be caught. That's why this place has become a playground, and you have allowed them. A place with so much potential. There are no minerals in the Eastern Cape, but there is land, a fertile, beautiful land. This province can be turned into the agricultural hub of South Africa, where we put water and give our people the seeds and the tools to work the land. That is the only thing Mbeggi's mother asked me when I went to see her. She said, all you guys must do for us in the Eastern Cape, give us water, give us seeds and tools. We've got the land and the fertile land. And we've got rivers where water can be drawn to supply everyone in the Eastern Cape. Because the good thing with agriculture is that everyone, even during war, has to eat. There will never be a period where they say your food that you are producing in Eastern Cape is irrelevant. And that the land will never be finished. The gold can be finished, but you'll never finish the land. And that's why there is so much potential where the biggest university of agriculture that specializes with everything, including producing vets, it must be in the Eastern Cape. So all of that is not happening because there is no visionary leadership. We are led in the Eastern Cape by fools. Literally, in a literal sense, because Oscar is a fool. I know him, I led with him in the youth league. There is no talent None whatsoever. So you can imagine, if the cream de la cream of the Eastern Cape is Ostama Buyan, then forget. The youth of Eastern Cape don't work. There's no jobs. The youth of Eastern Cape do not have economic opportunities. Yet East London has got the most beautiful port and lot of factories which have got potential. As they become irrelevant, can be converted into any other thing that is relevant now and get exported out of this country to be sold in other countries. Here in Eastern Cape, we should not be complaining about economic opportunities that are there to empower our people if we were to use this East London port in an optimal manner. I don't think the leaders of the ANC even know that there is a port in East London. If they don't know, they don't know what it's being used for. They were launching MSC cruise ship in Durban as one of the things that are going to contribute towards the economic opportunities in Durban. Why is that not done here in the Eastern Cape? Why is there no one who is invested in the first lift of East London and make it more beautiful? Why is there no developers who come and identify a piece of land next to the sea, next to the beach, develop a new beautiful suburb that will attract tourists into the Eastern Cape? Because the best hotel, the best, is that thing called ICC. It smells from the door to the back room. And that is the best. So who's going to come to Eastern Cape to come and live? Yes, bad smell. A hotel can smell like that and still be the best because it becomes the best in the absence of the best. ICC Hotel is competing alone. It's in a marathon of hospitality alone, still becomes number last, running alone. One, there is no interest in developing this place. Go to Durban, there is Untla, there is Zimbali. What is that area of Zimbali? Palito. It's booming like nobody's business. Go to Cape Town. Go to PE. Why is East London neglected when it has got features of all of these cities that I'm mentioning? The ANC found this year they don't have to do anything. We're not saying they must build a city. They've never built a city, not a single city, for the past 30 years. All they can do is to just maintain what they got and then make it look better to attract more investment. Tourism is the best creator of jobs. Because in tourism, good darling, you start with a porter. When you arrive at the hotel, the porter comes and takes the bags from your car. That's a job. When you enter, before you enter the hotel, by the gate, security. That's tourism. When you enter, the porter takes the bag. That's a job. When you enter the door, security. When you go to the receptionist. When you go into the restaurants, barmen, waiters, waitresses, the chefs. And in a proper hotel, it's not one chef doing everything. There is a chef for sushi. chef for this, chef for that, and then there's head chef. When you go into the rooms, there are people who must come and clean those rooms. There are people who must do the room service. There are managers, operation managers, so many jobs created by one institution of tourism. That is who we are in the Eastern Cape and in East London. We can create a lot of jobs through tourism. And when they sleep in the better hotels, in the ICC, then at some point they say, no man, we're tired of hotel food. Can we go into the township? Then they go to Mudanzani. Then Chisanyama in Mudanzani is booming. Then activities in Mudanzani, they are booming, which means empowerment of those locals by tourism. So I told you agriculture, I'm now telling you tourism. When I talk the port, it's the ocean economy that can be invested in so much to create jobs in the Eastern Cape. So all of this need thinkers. There is no white man under the EFF who's going to be chased away. Even the racist will not be chased away. They will live on their own. No one can chase anyone away. No one is going to be. They're racist because they don't want to be equal to us. And the EFF government is going to make us equal to them. They have no space. They will be suffocating in an equal society through empowerment. All of this must be done collectively as citizens of this country. Comrades, our people with so much beautiful land I spoke about, they still don't have land. They still don't have land. When you don't have land, you have no dignity. When you don't have land, even yourself, you feel so small. When you are propertyless, it is you who voluntarily wants to act in a submissive way. Submit yourself to those that you think are superior to you. One day I traveled with my mother. We visit one of the aunts who's very rich. The couches, you know, this is proper. And then me, being me, I arrive by the lounge and sit by the couches. Beautiful, clean couches. My mother arrives and sits on the floor. And then they say to her, why are you sitting on the floor? Hey, if we break these things of people, what are we going to do? Because we have no means to can fix these things. So I don't want to break people's things. That's what propertyless does to you. No one will ever say to you, sit on the floor. You just know that here is the rich. Poverty and propertylessness creates children in adults. They act like children because they have no property. People who don't have property are not respected by even the poor. The poorest of the poor call you. The poorest of the poor who are found in the shacks call you poor because you have no property. A piece of land. When there is a funeral at home and a family meeting is called to come and announce the funeral and decide on a date of burial, you are still staying at home in the back room. Your sister, your brother comes from a squatter camp He's got a shack, and that shack does not even have a window. Nothing. He locks it with a chain. Then he comes to the meeting, a family meeting. When a backroom dweller, you are already seated. They are going to tell you to give people chairs. So boom. Come up a month, eh? They traveled a lot. They're staying that side, yeah. When you go this way, that way, they are trying to tell whoever cares to listen. Or no, he's got his own place. That side. They say, you stand still. When after announcing the funeral, they now say, when can we bury? Back room. And no, Saturday. Kaume. Out abantu bathethe kaume. No one has ever told you you don't have a land, you can't speak. But it's that thing of not having land. Kaume. Abantu bayathetha apha fully. Because we have no land. But that one who comes from a shack that has got no window, no nothing, poor, is being recognized. Not deliberately. Something just tells all of you, you ought to respect this person. He's got a piece of land. He goes and attends Mgidi during, what is the date today? Sunday. You must go and check them when you live here. They are in an Mgidi, everything is nice. They are drinking proper. And then he leaves back to his shack. And then he enters his yard. There is no fence, no nothing. Proper drunk. But he stands that that's what land does. It brings about a sense of pride. But he's got a shack that with no window, no. When he says kukwamela, he's not talking about the shack. He's talking about the land. Because he knows that when I've got the land, it's the beginning of good things to happen. Because once I've got the land, I'm not going back. I don't care about this shack. One day there will be a house on this land. One day there will be a tractor on this land. That's why we must never abandon the issue of the land. Because that's what is going to restore the dignity of our people. The Limpopo can stay in Houten, have a house, he will never be respected. Because you don't have a land, even if he does. Because in their eyes, all black people are propertyless. Therefore, they are not worth respecting. Until you say this one is an advocate. When you say this one is an advocate, you mean it's a different black. It's not those blacks of propertyless. And when you say that, their attitude changes immediately. Advocate. Yeah. They know beyond qualifications, he's got property. So you joined the EFF. And you can't explain to people why you joined the EFF. When they ask you, why did you join the EFF? Just tell them, I joined it for the land. I'm in the EFF for the land. You know, comrades, our children who go to white people's schools, multiracial schools, our children, when they fight with white kids, the first thing they tell them is that you guys stole our land. Even kids now appreciate the land question and how important the land is. So we must not allow a situation where we get told that the EFF is the most useless organization. We must tell them the EFF was formed 10 years ago. And after its formation, the ANC started losing votes. When the EFF was not there, the ANC was not losing votes. Only after the arrival of the EFF in 2016, they lost Johannesburg, they lost Tshwane, they lost Nelson Mandela, and since that time, they've been on a losing path because of the existence of the EFF. When we formed the EFF, I stood in front of you in Marikana and I said to you, this is an elephant we are fighting with, but we are going to collapse it because we'll eat it piece by piece until we collapse it. And we are doing exactly that. We are eating the elephant piece by piece and we will collapse it. The ANC must die. In order for the EFF to emerge, the old must die for the new to emerge and take over South Africa. The death of the ANC means the rising power of the socialist left. Because in 1994, there was no revolution. You can't say 1994 revolution happened. Revolution cannot take place and the oppressor loses nothing and the oppressed gain nothing. When you say revolution happened in 1994, you must answer the question, what did the oppressor lose? One white man was making a silly joke with me. He says, had we known that this democracy is going to be so beneficial for us, we would have given it to you before 1976 to avoid killing of children. Get what do you mean? He says, we are more richer now than we were during apartheid. White people are more richer now. The oppressor is more richer now than during apartheid. And they say, had we known that you are going to be this kind to us, we're scared that we're going to lose something. If anything, we gained more. And someone wants to come and tell us revolution took place in 1994. It's not true. Revolution means a complete overhaul of the system, replaced with an alternative system. In this instance, it means a complete overhaul of a capitalist system and replaced by a socialist system. It has never happened. All we did was to swap seats. The whites came this side of parliament, the blacks went that side, and we said, this is a revolution of black people who are black outside and white inside. What does white inside mean? White inside means you've got all the desires of white people. You think that our struggle was for us to come and swim together with white people by the beach. You think our struggle was to be allowed in the plains with white people. Because you have this desire of whiteness. So, our struggle has not been achieved. At the core of the foundation of the ANC in 1912 was the land question. It has always been about the land. Now, they didn't fight for the land. They come to Eastern Cape, find apartheid hospitals, collapse them. But there is no health system in South Africa. Even the private health Bhutani that we go to with medical aid is not a proper health system. There is no health system. We are surviving in jail, Motito. Otherwise, even this COVID, we don't know why we are still here. It would have finished us. They found apartheid hospitals collapsed. If the water that Dali was drinking in Mudanzani during apartheid, if there was water in his home during apartheid, go now. There's no water. There is apartheid pipes and apartheid taps that are dry. And Mbalula says, be happy you've got taps. Senzeni with tap. Every infrastructure they found in South Africa, they destroyed it. All they had to do was to protect it, improve on it, and build new ones. No. They found Transnet doing so well. They collapsed it. The roads are full of trucks endangering the lives of our people because the ANC collapsed Transnet. And it's not ANC alone, it's ANC led by a guy called Pravin. Guys, there used to be a long distance train from Plaza, from Johannesburg to East London. Train. That train is nowhere. They didn't have to build a railway line. They didn't have to put any wires. They didn't have to bring trains. They found a train there. You look at Gwede's stomach, you're thinking the train is inside the stomach because the train is no longer there at the park station. We can locate where the train is. It's inside Gwede's stomach. Then we say, where is the train? From last year, September, there's never been a long distance train. That train from Johannesburg to East London was always full. You can't say it doesn't make business sense to have that train to East London. It was always full. Where's the train? Where's the train? The EFF, when it starts barking at them, they release some train. But a train is now going to Cape Town. They even ring bells like we must celebrate something that we found there as if it's new. We're like, are you sure? You guys can drive a train, You know how to drive a train. They said, hey man, we are going to Cape Town. They left Johannesburg. That was Thursday, Friday. The next thing they are calls. Hey, buses must come, buses. What's happening? The train is stuck somewhere there before it arrives in Cape Town. People must be first with buses. Again being taken back to the roads, endangering their lives. They cannot drive trains. They destroyed trains. And then you expect them to fly SAA. But that thing is called a flying machine. It means the machine is flying. You can't do anything with a train on the ground. What are you doing up there? They went to collapse the whole SAA, paralyzed it, put it down. The national pride, something that we were proud of ourselves and said, this is ours. They've collapsed it. It's dead. Denel was the best with technology and producing sophisticated machines. What is that Budali of Denel? Fighter jet. It has got a Rafale. We produce the best fighter jet in South Africa to a point where the Chinese, who are known to be the best in technology, wanted to buy our Rafale so that they can copy it. That Denel which produced the Rafale is no more, dead. It has collapsed. Tell me of a single thing that is going well under this. When Cyril came, they said he's going to create jobs. He worsened the unemployment. When Cyril came, they said Cyril is going to give you houses. He even went to Alexander and said, I'm going to give you 1 million houses in Alexander in Johannesburg. When he became the president, till today, there's no single house built in Alexander. Here in Eastern Cape, forget. Incomplete houses, corrupt houses that are not built properly, they collapse at any time. They said Cyril is going to give us houses to Mami. He has not given the people of Alexander a single house. I'm not telling you fiction, because when they insult you, they say you are members of a cult, you follow everything your leader says. Your leader says Cyril did not build a single house in Alexander. Let them give you an alternative that proves this wrong. Mbadula was asked on TV, you said 1 million houses, how many did you build? They are not asking you philosophical, theoretical question. It's a simple thing of numbers. 10, 20, it became something else. Of course, it's understood with Mbadula, it's challenged. So, they said the economy is going to grow. Ramaphosa is a billionaire. He knows the economy. The economy of South Africa has been stagnant. And my suspicion is that we are growing negatively, and they don't announce it to protect him. Because once you announce the negative, it means economic recession. And they don't want South Africa to be declared that it is under economic recession because it's under Ramaphosa. But once Ramaphosa gets out, you are going to be confronted with the reality that our economy is negative growth. And they are not saying it because Ramaphosa's government is leading us through propaganda that is allowed by white monopoly capital media, which lies to us. So we have a duty as the EFF to make sure that we protect Alfred Nzo, we protect Matatiele, we protect O.R. Tambo. If you go to Mthatha, what used to be a beautiful city it now looks like an abandoned place. So we have a responsibility really to make sure that we revive the legacy of O.R. Tambo, and that legacy is love for your people. When you love your people, there's no way you can allow them to continue like this. You know, when we say the ANC is Western apartheid, we don't mean white people who are good. We mean that, but these ones come from the same background with us. They should have understood our condition and make it better. And they don't do it. That's why we say they are worse. You know, if I go with you to Weather Township in PE, Andiles Township, Motherwell. If I go with Dali to Motherwell, and when we arrive there, someone hit me with a varam club, I'm going to fight. This guy went to highlight. Hey, when's up? But if Dali was to hit me with the same varam club, I'm going to turn and say to him, but why you, my brother? Why you? We're together. Why do you hit me? Why? And that is the situation of a stranger and your brother. That your brother's varam club is going to hit hard than that of a stranger. That's what the ANC has done to us. They've paid us more because we expected them to understand our pain and solve it. So we have a duty ourselves to go back to the dream of 1994. Because if we leave the dream of 1994, we'll realize the real freedom. We have to go back to what OR envisaged when he was in exile. What Krisani envisaged when he was in exile. We need to go back to that dream. Fighters inspired by the generation I just mentioned, we met with Hamas, the resistant movement of Palestine, and they explained to us the situation in Palestine. Things are bad. The hospitals which were not bombed have got no medicine. Therefore, they are not worth being called hospitals. The doctors of Israel are encouraging the Israeli government to bomb hospitals. There's no water, there's no electricity, no medication, and Israel is refusing to engage in a ceasefire to allow all of this to be delivered to Palestinians. Women and children are being killed. There is a war that is declared on a particular ethnic group, and they want to wipe it off the earth. And under our watch, Palestinians are being killed. When UN attempt to pass a ceasefire resolution, in their majority, the Security Council, America vetoes the UN resolution that stops the ceasefire. We know what is land occupation. We were occupied, we are still occupied ourselves. We were forcefully removed from our land. We were bombed, we were shot at by the apartheid regime. And that's why the struggles of Palestinians are our struggles. There is no Muslim that loves himself or herself or her religion who will vote for DA that is supporting the killing of Muslims in Palestine. So we call on our Muslim communities to rally behind the EFF because the EFF government in South Africa in 2024 will participate actively to resolve the conflict of Middle East. marched to Israel embassy. When we announced we were marching to Israel embassy, the ANC announced a date earlier. And then they went. Go and ask them, what did you say at the Israel embassy and what have you achieved? We said at the march there, we are going to tell McDonald's to distance itself from McDonald's of Israel, because the McDonald's of Israel has changed its packaging and it uses the colors of the Israeli flag for packaging, which means they support what Israel is doing. These ones here at home must say they are not part of that. They did. McDonald's is not these spaza shops that we are doing. It's a very powerful institution. But when the EFF said, do you know those people in Israel? They said no. Say, okay, tell the whole world that you don't know those people in Israel and we're not even part of them. We said to Woolworths, remove every product from Israel. We don't want to see it on the shelves. They removed all the products from Israel. We said Parliament must pass a resolution that says the embassy of Israel must be closed down because we cannot share a territory with people who are committing genocide. Parliament passed the resolution of the EFF and said the embassy of Israel must be closed. So we don't talk in the EFF. We don't make promises. We make commitments. Because with commitments, there must be a follow-up. That's why we speak publicly. So that people can hold us to that. Mbadula says, no, Malema is a flip-flopper. He has changed his tune on foreigners into South Africa again. Where? We are poop. The drunkard, he is dreaming. Why would I change my views on foreigners? Because EFF is characterized by progressive internationalism. And part of that progressive internationalism is Pan-Africanism. That's why when we sing Kosi Sikelele Africa, I was listening to you. When we say Africa, you guys say South Africa. There's nothing called South Africa. South Africa is a geographical direction that this is the southern part of Africa. It doesn't exclude it from Africa. Map, geographical location. Outside the location, South Africa. It's a location in Africa. That's why our Nkosi Sikelele has got no, and not by Julius Malema, by Enoch Sontonga, long before, even when things were difficult. Enoch Sontonga knew that our freedom is for Africa. Nkosi Sikelele, Africa, not South Africa. Not South Africa. If you doubt and you join the things that you know nothing about because Utandi is in Donje, but I think without reading, without checking anything, where you are seated, just look at the logo of the EFF. Is Africa, the map of Africa, not the map of South Africa. Because EFF is not a South African political party. It's an African political party that seeks to unite the whole continent of Africa. Hey, we don't want foreigners. Hey, we don't want Zimbabweans. Hey, we don't. These people, they came with EFF. They brought foreigners here. No. My guy, In South Africa, there is a language which is not included in the official languages called Fanakalo, where there is a mixture of Ronga, of Kalanga, of Shona, of South African languages, everything. Tatalapa, Bekalapa. That language was formed long before the existence of the EFF. Why? All of these nations were being told we must chase them away. Actually, have got a claim in our economy because our economy was built on the discovery of diamond and gold. So our economy is a mining complex economy, and that mining was made possible by all these people I'm talking about. So our people have always worked together even before the EFF. But you guys are fighting, what are the M7s? What are the M7s? No problem. But listen to what you are saying. You are fighting with the Zimbabwean over what? Over being employed by a white person. I want to work for this white man. This one is denying me to work for the white man. I'm the one who must work for the white man. That's effectively what you are saying. You are not saying they are taking our economy. You are saying jobs. Because you want to be a slave, you are fighting to be a slave. Jobs and the economy are two different things. You are not saying Zimbabweans have taken the land. You are not saying Zimbabweans have taken the restaurants. You are saying Zimbabweans are working in the restaurants and they pushed us out. But who's the owner of the restaurant? Did the Zimbabweans put a gun on the head of the owner? Who employs people there? It's a white man who now wants to put us against each other because apartheid thrives through divide and rule. So we are part of the international progressive left, which will not allow capital to wipe off earth Palestine. And that's why we are with the people of Palestine. Because, comrades, you must always be on the side of the weak. And that's what you do every day, by the way. But when it comes to politics, you forget. In your daily lives, you are always on the side of the weak. If you find two people fighting, you first look at the strong one. And that's the one you always grab. Because that other one is already down. So you grab this strong one so that it doesn't kick the one who's already down. If you are not on the side of the weak, why are you not going to grab the one who's down so that the strong can kick the weak? That's what you apply in life on a daily basis. Apply that even in politics. America vetoes ceasefire in Palestine. Why? Because it's not Israel that is in war with Palestine. It's the USA that is in war with Palestine and uses Israel as a military base of the USA in the Middle East. So we must not allow America to continue to be a bully without being exposed. This America says it's a peaceful institution, it's an advanced democracy. They even think they can teach us about democracy. What kind of democracy is this one that kills children and women, that bombs hospitals? Once a leader of Hamas goes and hides inside a hospital, it doesn't matter is done. You have to pull back and devise means to get him out of that hospital. Refugee camp, the same thing. Once he runs into a refugee camp, you can't bomb a refugee. It's done. Respect the international law. America must respect the international law. And if America doesn't respect the international law, why should others respect it? ICC must arrest Netanyahu if it's serious about violation of human rights and genocide. Netanyahu says it with his mouth openly, unashamed, that we are going to kill them. And ICC still doesn't do anything. There is warrant of arrest by ICC against President Putin. He hasn't done anything. In Russia, they are fighting state to state and not innocent women and children. So, the inconsistency of the UN and the ICC and the Security Council must be exposed for what it is. So, I'm saying all of this, fighters, as a way of saying to you, you have a duty to understand that even during World War II, during festive season, there was a ceasefire to allow people to have a festive. They knew that even if we fight, Shem, there is Christmas, let's enjoy a bit, we'll come back to fight. This one that doesn't allow ceasefire for water to be taken to Palestine, we must not be part of that, and let's not keep quiet. Let's talk about it. So that history, when it gives an account, they say there were men and women in red who stood with Palestinian people when it was not fashionable to do so. You know, as a fighter yourselves, you must know these things. Because as a ground force, you have a duty to explain these things to communities. But you will never be a ground force if you're not grounded. Remember, comrades, you here, you are the lifeblood of the organization. You are the EFF, and without you, there is no EFF. So you are the epicenter of this revolution, and let me give you an example. If we're to come into this hall, and you comrades don't come, and then we all come here in front, ourselves here in front, let's even make it worse, including these ones who've got tables, because I see tables, I suspect this is leadership. So here, these ones of tables, we all come, but you don't come. The report is going to be the meeting of the EFF in Eastern Cape failed, but the leadership was there. But because you were not there, there will never be a meeting of the EFF. There is no EFF without you. You are everything that we are speaking about in the Eastern Cape. It's you. But you can't be a ground force if you are not grounded in communities and you can't agitate. I was listening and, smiling at your chairperson singing, leading a chant and all of that. You cannot be a ground force if you can't agitate. So that thing he was doing here in front is called agitation. So you can't agitate communities, then you can't be a ground force. You can't be a ground force if you can't lead a community protest. Some of these people who call themselves leaders of the EFF have never led the smallest march in their life. March. So a ground force will know authentic protest and factional protest in the communities of the ANC. You will know that this is not a genuine protest of a community, and therefore not involve the EFF ground forces. An EFF ground force must love his or her communities, must love them genuinely, not pretentious love of seeking votes. You must fall in love with your communities. Comrades, we can't go to, and I've not received that report, to Nelson Mandela and then we're going to an old age home. They say there is a huge bill of electricity. The municipality is even threatening to close the old age home because the bill is not paid, but they suspect they were billed wrongly and all of that. The EFF has got MMC of electricity in Nelson Mandela, and then it takes a week to resolve such a problem. Because municipality is not big. Municipality is not a mine. There are no complications and undergrounds. We know where accounts are held and who is responsible for the accounts. Why is the MMC not going there with the bill and saying, what is the problem here? Explain this. In the absence of the explanation, it means you can't justify this. You have to cancel it and follow the necessary processes to cancel that bill of the old age home out of love for the communities. You must always know your communities by name, not as a community, as a group. Ought to know each and every house. Who stays in that house? Is there someone in that house who's disabled? You might, even if you don't do anything about it, just know it. One, you come to East London like today, and it happens that they give people wheelchairs. You don't queue for that winner because you don't need a wheelchair. No one needs a wheelchair. When you arrive back home in Tata, you are sitting there in the Mtripi, then they say, hey, there's a person here who needs a wheelchair. Oh, yes, it's mine. You know, I was in East London, they were giving people wheelchairs there. How does that help us? How does it help us? Know your communities, even if you can't do anything. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. There is an old woman who stays alone there. You pass there every day. You don't check on her. But we all know, Shem, that old woman stays alone. You don't check on her. You don't do anything. But you love your communities. And checking on her doesn't take anything from you. I'm not saying give her anything. Just, how are you? How did you sleep? She must know someone cares. And that person is the ground force of the EFF. So one day you decide, you know what, this Malema is irritating us about checking on gogos and let me check this gogo. When you arrive there, she was raped last night. She's about to die. You pick her up, put her in a car, rush her into a hospital and save life of Ugogo, and hear how that news is going to spread in the community that the EFF ground force arrived and found Gogo and saved Gogo. Go to your communities and love them genuinely, and don't say you are going back there to communities because were with Malema in East London who are now going to Kankasa for votes. And then in the Kankasing of the votes, you pretend like you love people. No, if you don't love people, don't go back when you live here. Don't go back to communities and lie about you caring for them. Don't lie and say, I care, when you don't. When you don't. What stops you? And fighters, you are working. You are a counselor, you are whatever, you work in your own company, whatever. What stops you from going to a taxi owner and say to a taxi owner, how much do you make per day from Danzani to East London? From Motherwell to PE, how much? He says 700. You see, on the payday of Abu Ghog, when they go to the paying point to go and collect their money, you are going to collect them that day. You are not pirating. You are collecting them to the payday. I will give you 900 rand. Then you collect Abu Ghog to go. You do it voluntarily. There's no meeting. There's nothing that looks like that thing we said about buses. This one is voluntary. No one even knows. Utata Abu Ghog to a paying point of SASA, you return them back home. And here, how the people of Johannesburg are going to know about you. Because the children of these Gogos in the Eastern Cape are in Johannesburg. Hey, there is a young man here with the EFF. Hey, he has made our life easy. He takes us to a paying point and brings us back 900 rand, which you were going to drink through expensive whiskey. You deny yourself such luxury to please the dejected masses of our people and realize how much they are going to appreciate. Like now, schools are coming to an end. Principals are refusing children with reports. You are going to go in there as the EFF and say to the principal, you don't have a contract with this child. You have a contract with the parent. You two talk to each other. The results are not parents' results. They are results of this one. Give this one the results. And take on the parents. Don't involve our children in adults' issues. This issue of school fees is for adults. Don't involve children. Then the principal hears you, gives the children reports, you are there, the parents are there, they are happy. When you leave, even before you reach the gates with those parents, you see what we've done? We've given, make sure you get reports. Don't make a mistake. Go to your family. Don't make a mistake. We gave you reports. Don't say that. Doesn't sound nice. Because it sounds like you helped us, expecting something in return. Help us without expecting anything in return. After you help them, don't worry about vote EFF. It's always. Once you help them, they are in their homes. The ground forces now arrive to come and campaign in the area where you helped people with reports. They will not even open their mouth, those fighters. As they enter the gate, oh, this one's ours. This one's ours. And then, if you escape. These ones are ours. Why? It's not what those people are saying or they are doing. It's what you did and gave them a very good impression about fighters. That it is people who love their communities. You must be charitable as a fighter. You must help. A lot of us still have clothes from grade 8. But when we leave, we say, We are for the poor, we are for the poor. The poor needs clothes. Go and take those clothes and give them and realize how much they appreciate. Those shoes that may no longer be in good conditions and you are no longer wearing them, give them away. Anything that can restore and make someone happy, help them with that if you have. If you don't afford, don't even try anything. We are preparing you for the day you afford, that you must be charitable. What the left hand does, the right hand must not know. Because we don't want you to give a person a dress. The next thing that person is in a wedding or something wearing a dress, everybody's like, oh, you're looking so nice. Oh, what a beautiful dress. Ah, it's me. I gave you that dress. Don't make noise. If you're going to do that, don't help at all. Because don't help us so that you can humiliate us in front of people. Please, a charitable fighter doesn't go around talking about it. Do not display opulence. Do not. And be like the ANC chairperson in KwaZulu-Natal, who buys a Gucci belt and tuck in front so that the Gucci belt can appear that is wearing Gucci. That's display of opulence. Don't. Wear your Gucci. I'm not saying don't wear Gucci, but do not display. Drive your German machine. Do not display. Stay in your house. Do not display. What is this thing, ground forces, of taking food pictures and put on Facebook? And that time you are the chairperson of the poorest community. You are in some restaurant. Marshal Dlamini invited you to come and understand the problems. They buy food, you take a picture. You put on Facebook. What must happen? This community must eat on Facebook. What do you gain out of that? What do you gain? What do you gain out of that? Do not do that. A charitable someone who doesn't display opulence and at all material terms act in a humbled manner. We're going to Christmas now. There is a family where you come from. It's a family which is well known that in that family they are so poor to an extent that even the poor of the poorest call them poor. Why can't you go and help that family take a decision yourself without the resolution of the EFF that I'm going to help that family? And without telling anyone, because we said the left must make sure the right doesn't know what the left is doing. And I'm not talking luxury. I'm talking a bag of salmon, pieces of chicken, fish oil, salt, and some spice. We grew up eating pap, and when there is a piece of chicken, is now we're on top of the world. Imagine what you are going to do to that child who knows that as Christmas comes, we are trying to be nice to the closest rich family so that we can have something to eat on that day. You just rock up and say, guys, I brought you Christmas gifts. Yeah. And see what's going to happen. That child has lost hope. That family has lost hope. That's why here in Eastern Cape, people kill their own children and kill themselves because of poverty. Here in Eastern Cape, the children are dying of hunger. Those children are known to us. A ground force must identify those children. Go to a spaza shop of a Somalian and ask that there are these children. Whatever you can give me, please, I want to go and help them. Charitable, humble, no display of opulence, genuinely caring for communities. A ground force must be a knowledgeable person. Please, every morning or evening, when you wake up, read a chapter of a book. You will thank me later. And do not worry if you don't remember what you read about. Just read. Because one day you are going to be in an interview or someone is going to try ridicule you. And then you start answering in the most profound way. Because those things you have been reading, the mind will never disappoint you. It stores them. And then as you speak, the library just opens like this. And then when they leave, you turn to a friend, hey, Chomi, I don't even know where those things come from. Hey, you shocked me out today. You killed them. How did you kill them? You read about these things. You just don't remember. That's what a knowledgeable person acts. Knowledgeable person does not mean masters, does not mean PhD. It means have some sense of what is happening. Read something. A ground force must be a knowledgeable person with solutions, because you can't provide solutions if you are not knowledgeable. Read a chapter at least a day. Now, I'm asking you too much. You spend a lot of time on Facebook. You spend a lot of time on YouTube, on TikTok. You go, man, all of them, you've got all the accounts. Go and check how much time you spend on those things. And go and check how much time does a chapter take. You can read a chapter and still do those things on social media. It doesn't interfere in your life. If anything, it's your personal development. Because in you, we are preparing leaders of society. And leaders of society ought to be knowledgeable people. You cannot say you are a fighter, right? But you reason like Mbalula of the ANC. When you live here, you must commit that I'm going to be better than Mbalula in my reasoning. And the only way to be better than Mbalula in your reasoning is because you are knowledgeable. Mbalula doesn't want to read. So as you go back to your villages, now December, January, host small Christmas parties in your villages there. Entertain the people there, because they must know that the EFF is around and the EFF is alive. We must also attend Imigidi and preach the message of the EFF in the villages there. You need to go and tell them about the land issue I was telling you about. You need to tell them that the wars of dispossession were fought here, 9 of them, here in the Eastern Cape. And you must tell them you are leading a war now, the 10th one now, in the Eastern Cape of the land. And you are going to make sure that those promises or demands are met. So we must make sure that as we go into this immigrant, there must be at least a bottle for Abu Tahata and some case of juices for Abu Maham. Ungafiki nje empty-handed. Utahati mara uni plan. And the plan. A lot of our children will be coming back from initiation schools. We must go and participate and make sure that we are part of communities and tell them that when the EFF takes the Eastern Cape, no child will die in an initiation school. They will all go to the initiation school, will continue with the culture, will continue with the practice, but next to every approved initiation school, there shall be an ambulance and medical staff, which doesn't interfere. It only comes in when a child is exposed to danger, so that no one gets to die. Our culture, no one must make our culture look barbaric, as if our culture has got no appreciation of science. We know there are areas where now we must call medical practitioners to come and help us. That's what we need to do in all the initiation schools here in the Eastern Cape, and make sure our children return in a safe manner. Fighters, you are the ground forces. A ground force doesn't hold a grudge. A ground force doesn't hold a grudge. You don't have Zomonisa attitude in the EFF. You raise your issues here, you raise them sharply, whether they like it or not. You have made your point, it's done. You don't live here conspiring to destroy someone. You always make sure you channel your energy to the building of the organization, not to destroying of each other. You are one thing, you are one big family. You must protect one another, because we are the only people we have. You know, fighters, if you are a comrade of mine and we are in a meeting like this and they say, Julius Malema is not here, what is the explanation? You must just stand up and say, no, he got a punch. Yeah, we just got a call, he got a puncher. Protect each other. Even against your own leadership, you protect each other. Not this thing of readily available to sell each other out. The chairperson gives you an apology. When you arrive in the meeting, you don't read that apology, because he must be absent 3-4 times so that they can expel him. Why are you thinking like that? You here, you are even worse, because most of you and everyone here can claim there is no person in their family who is not from an initiation school. That's where the concept Matabane comes from. Matabane, the concept was developed in the initiation school because they had to apply Inleke on the body. And then the application of Inleke must be done all over the body. And you must also apply it at the back. So you have to get someone, you are the Kavan, to cover you at the back. So you are Kavan. It means this person has taken care of your bag. Remember in the initiation school, when you come out of the heart and you don't appear properly the way the teachers are expecting you to appear, you are likely to even be punished. So you don't know how you look at the back. But Kabani Lam have taken care of my back. I know I look much better at the back. In again, Yam is like a makeup done by a professional because of my Kabani. Kabani means I've got your bag, you've got my bag. Because after the Kabani, you cover me, I cover you. You've got my bag, I've got your bag. That's why when you are seated here, the Kamakabana Kachuchu. So when we leave to go and fight, and I'm facing the enemy, and someone screams, the enemy is coming from behind, I will never turn, because I know my Likaman has got my pen, he's like the pen, he will take care of the enemy at the pen. That's how you must take care of each other. Look after one another as one big family. You can't say you love black people, you love Africans, but you don't love your fellow fighter. Comrades, when we leave, we are going to campaign. Do not remove posters of other political parties. Do not insult women who belong to other political parties or even in the EFF. Do not disrupt meetings of other political parties. Always when you book a venue, make sure you have followed the protocol so that you don't book a venue that is booked by the ANC. As a result, you start fighting. Do not stop anyone from doing door-to-door, even in your own home, if you are sure of your story. Why are you scared? I'm speaking to you now. My wife is at the wedding in Polokwane. When I leave here, I'm going to join him. But I don't doubt that where she is, the feeling is mutual. Because she's mine, I'm hers. That's a relationship you must have with the voters of the EFF. You don't care who speaks to them. You know the feeling is mutual. You and the voter are the husband and a wife. Those who doubt themselves, my wife is there, I'm here. Where's those who doubt themselves in the same wedding with the wives being there? When she goes to a toilet and then she comes back, some man talks to her. Yo lolo. I'm about to tell my dog. Do you call her? It is our better bloody abuser threatening a wife. Because you doubt yourself. You know you are not doing what you're supposed to do as a man of the house. But if you know what is expected from you and you do what is expected from you, you will never doubt the voter. If anything, let them come so that voters can start telling them on their faces the wrong they've done here in the Eastern Cape. We're not scared of anyone. We do our work. Fighters door to door. Door to door. We must make sure we speak to our voters, and we must have canvassing sheets, and we must have voters' rolls when we campaign, so that we don't speak to people who are not registered voters. This voters' roll and canvassing sheets is not your problem. It's a problem of these ones here in front. They must make sure you've got those things, including pen. Because when they want to report, a report must be in a form of a canvassing sheet. So where are you going to write if they have not given you those things? It's a duty of the leadership seated here, because when we speak facing them, they think we are talking to you and not them. They must know we want a canvassing sheet, one voters roll of our ward, not big voters roll. What one BCM must come alone, not mix with the rest, so we can focus on our voters. Fighters do not campaign under the influence of alcohol and drugs. You know, even when you smell alcohol, don't go. Why? You are wasting your time. People, once they suspect you are drunk, they don't listen to you. So why would you go and talk to people when you are drunk? It's a waste of time. When you smell alcohol, why do you go and speak to people? It's a waste of time. So always be sober. You can't smoke in front of a voter. Vote for EFF. Always, when you arrive before a voter, greet, introduce yourself, ask them. Don't start by talking. Ask them if they've got time to talk to you. They will give you a go-ahead. Because once you start by talking without permission, you have a sense of entitlement to their time. And you are not entitled to that. Make sure that you don't visit people's houses during prime time. So in Limpopo, we don't do door-to-door during Skim Sam on TV. But the whole South Africa, you don't do door-to-door at 7 p.m. because it's prime news. Every one of us, when we were growing up, we knew news time, all must be silent. But you are a ground force, you don't know that simple mathematics. Timing is everything. If you know your communities, you will know timing. You will know this weekend you can't call a community protest because there is a big wedding of Induna. Everybody is going there. So we need to go and put information table on the road where everybody will be passing of the EFF. You are a convener in your ward. Convene election work in your ward. Get activities. Activities fighters is that as simple as netball tournament, soccer tournament, a protest to police station against stock theft. You don't have to be 100, 30 of you, 20 of you marching to go and protest at the police station. People see that commitment. Next time you say there is another march on GBV, on crime, on this. You were 30 last week. You are going to find yourself 130 because people respond to action. And when you've got convening activities, then you start having activists in your ward. Activities, activists. There will never be activists in the absence of activities. So once you have activities, people start coming and they start being active. Don't say you are a coordinator of a ward, but you don't even know your VDs. You think your ward is your VD. Every time when we go to election, you say, this what we are going to take it. This what? You are referring to the VD in the squatter camp because you know you control that area. Boom, you win a VD and then you lose a ward. And you are going to be irritating us. We're robbed, we won. Jani, that's a VD, the one you're talking about. You won a VD but lost the ward. Now, how do I win the ward? The coordinator must go and establish VDETFs and must not only establish them and disappear, must establish them and coordinate them so that they stay alive. How do we make sure that these VDTFs stay alive? We don't have activities in one VD. We rotate from one VD to the other. This weekend we are in this VD, next weekend we are in this. By the time the election comes, we have been 4 or 5 times to each VD. There is no small, there is no big VD. They are all very important and they must be serviced. So it's a job of a coordinator to coordinate that. Why do you go around saying you are a coordinator when you have not coordinated anything? Coordination of VDETFs. Coordination. Once you know that you are a coordinator, then you must have things that you are coordinating. In the absence of anything being coordinated by you, you're useless. You are of no value. Fighters, you must not wear dirty, torn regalia of the EFF. You happened to be at the 9th anniversary of the EFF in Free State, and you got a t-shirt, and every time they call a meeting of the EFF, you want to wear that t-shirt. You want to, the neck is tired of the t-shirt. You are still wearing. And then you think that when you don't wear regalia, you are not EFF. You are EFF. Regalia does not mean you are EFF or not. There are people who left us who were wearing regalia every day, but they were never EFF. Because being EFF is not a t-shirt, it's the heart and soul that you have for the EFF. So SG, get these people t-shirts. They must get t-shirts. They must not wear old t-shirts. So that we avoid people going to canvas with dirty t-shirts. But fighters, when you canvas, be clean and smell good. Don't smell amakwaba. Of some middle class family in what's this township I was talking about it? This township. Danzan. You go into a family, it's Sunday today, a middle class family in Danzan. They've prepared a meal. They are about to have their Sunday lunch as a family. One hand. And then you say, we are going to create jobs. We are going to give you electricity, load shedding. Don't sit down. Come, please. They are just looking at you like, yo, how can this one can solve load shedding, this one can give people jobs, this one. To be clean and to smell good does not mean being rich. You are going to tell our people about jobs, about proper houses, roads, water, what you are going to. You are explaining this beautiful vision of the EFF. You've got it in you. But when you appear, you and the vision don't go together. Because you can give me the best meal that is tasting so nice. But if it's presented like it's a vomit, I won't even eat it. The courageous one will eat it and tell me, oh, it was so nice. One, we eat with our eyes. So once you appear, people are ready. And now, I said to you, be knowledgeable. You appear so nice. When you open your mouth, you release a lot of information beautifully. They like, yeah, you see. All I'm asking you is, you represent 2024 that is bright. People must look at you by how you appear, by how you speak. They must say, this is the future. This is what we want to see. This is what we have been waiting for. People must not be doubting when you leave, but it's not proper. Something is just not. We can hear the message, but so fighters, as you campaign, you are the walking billboard of the EFF. Julius Malema is not a Holy Spirit. He can't be everywhere at the same time. Where you are yourself, you are Julius Malema of that area, and you must represent the organization to the best of your ability. So fighters, desire Apa to invite you on a march. We're marching from here, today and now. And when we march from here, today and now, there's no one who can stand in front of us. No one will stop this march we are starting today. We'll start it now. We're going to Pretoria. We're going to the Union Building. We will never rest until we arrive in the Union Building. We will never rest until there is a flag of the EFF that is flying high at the Union Building. And everywhere in the world, in all missionaries of South Africa, EFF will take over Eastern Cape,
Thank you very much, President. Thank you very much, leadership. Thank you very much, Ground Forces of the EFF.